All right. Welcome back. It is right now 4:03 a.m. Most likely you're in bed right now. Good. Just listen once you get up. I'm going to deal with a few things, and I'm going to treat this like one of my late night lives. I'm going to treat it like a late night live. I do those every night with the members, but I did it public tonight. Well, I've done it public on accident, I think twice. On accident twice. I'm doing it on purpose now. Shout out to Shawnee Mack in the building. And just want to chit chat a little bit. I like to be relaxed, and sometimes I'll run and cook and things like that. I like to be relaxed on my late night lives, if you don't mind. But I wanted to briefly, before I get into some things here, go over my upcoming legal battle. I view it as a legal battle. And I'm going to spend money probably tomorrow, if not definitely Friday, to talk to a lawyer. I don't care how much money he asks for. I mean, of course, that'd be reasonable. But even if it's $200-300, I'm going to go ahead and come off that money, and I'm going to explain my case to him. Because if I don't win this case, I'm going to take it to him. I'm going to take this to a lawyer. If a lawyer will be willing to look out for me. Now, maybe I got to kick him a few dollars. Okay, fine. I'll see if I can work with him. But hopefully he's one of those lawyers that would be happy to take the case knowing that he would win it. And, take something off the back end. We'll see. But I'm truly surprised. I'm surprised right now as I speak. Shout out to Calvin in the building. Salute to Buster Mutt. Why? Salute to Buster Mutt in the building. AZQ and Esmeralda. Good morning. What was I talking about? Yeah, I'm surprised. Like, I'm seriously, genuinely surprised that they even challenged it. That he even challenged. I think this is it's either my supervisor who's doing this, or it's the department manager. One of them. I don't really care which one it is. I expect them to lose soundly. And if they don't lose, if I don't win, there's going to be a serious problem. And I'm going to make it clear it's day. So I'm going to first talk to a lawyer, break it down to him. That way I'll get a good idea whether, it'll be a waste of time or it's something I should go through with. But I'd feel slighted, like if I didn't win this case, I'd be very uncomfortable continuing as an employee of this company. So we'll see how it goes. Right, salute to everybody in the building. Sub-Zero in the house. Also, Kawi in the house. 125Z Pro. Man, that sounds like a fast car. So yeah, briefly, let me just quickly go over it. So, for those of you who don't know, I work in logistics. And just to put it simply, I was given incorrect information. It's simple as that. I was given incorrect information. My supervisor told me that an expedite pickup was coming to pick up parts. It was not an expedite pickup. It was an expedite delivery and pickup. Two completely different trucks. If I tell you to look out for an expedite pickup, you will not confuse it with an expedite delivery and pickup. Now, I'm sure you all know why. If it's an expedite pickup, the truck is going to arrive empty. You don't go to pick up something with a truck full of parts, truck full of materials. What kind of sense would that make? Right? Am I making sense so far? You coming to pick something up, large objects that's so large, they have to be put onto a full-size truck. You don't show up with parts on it before you pick this thing up. Show up with an empty truck. This truck that showed up, like I said, was a delivery pickup. So it showed up, it was almost full. Jammed packed, full of parts. Okay, so huge difference on the types of trucks these are. On top of that, it's even worse than that. I don't determine what type of truck it is simply by whether it has a lot or a little bit on it. But if you have an expedite pickup, quite naturally, the truck driver is not going to have any paperwork. Why would he? You only need paperwork if you have material on the truck. Does anybody know why? Let's get into trucking a little bit. Okay? Let's get into trucking briefly. Can anybody tell me why, if you're a truck driver, you need paperwork for whatever is on your truck? It's because if a cop pulls you over, he can see what's on your truck, how much it weighs, and all of that. Anytime a trucker got something on their truck, they have to have paperwork along with it. This trucker showed up with paperwork. He showed up with paperwork like a regular contracted trucker. A huge difference. This is two totally different types of trucks. On top of that, the expedite pickup, if he, hops into his truck and it's empty, he's coming to pick something up. No paperwork. You know what he's going to have? A phone. That's all he's going to have. And he's going to give me what's called a pickup number. I matched that number with the number my company was given. I know exactly what to give them. Real simple. I don't see how anybody can get confused with this. This guy showed up with documents. Not only that, he gave me the documents and went straight back out to his truck like a contracted trucker who knows who this ain't his first rodeo. And this is what this truck was. So this is, I think, open and shut. They told me an expedite pickup was coming. See, when these guys show up, the expedite pickup, they're lost. They're always lost. They're stopping. They probably made 2 or 3 stops before they got to you. GPS take them around the block somewhere. And you can see the frustration and desperation on their face when they walk up. Is this such and such address? Yeah. Oh, thank you, brother. Like, and they're very excited. They just seem very lost because it's usually their first time there. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they'll ask, hey, what do you guys do here? What do you make here? Maybe ask to use the restroom. But the guys who've been there several times, been around the block, they know exactly what to do. They walk up, hand me the paper, toss the papers, and even if there's nobody there, they'll leave them inside of a box on the door. And they go back to their truck. And that's exactly what this guy did. Now, come to find out, they told me, after I did my job, what I was supposed to do, they told me, oh, that was the expedite. But they did not tell me that it was a delivery and expedite. So there's no way for me to recognize it as a pickup. If he coming with a truck full of parts, with a truck driver who knows the program, comes in, tosses BOLs, it's like, so we'll see. I will be mind blown if I don't win this case. Now, if y'all don't mind, I want to deal with some stuff I saw just a few minutes ago when I first got here. It seems like there's an uptick in the nuttery. Shout out to Buster Gundo in the building. Doesn't it seem like an uptick in nuttery? But, it does that. It operates in waves. Get intense, and then it calms down. But, when it get intense, sometimes it's more intense than others. I just read a crazy story. Wasn't this person got beat up by a bear. But the bear, as always, was after his dog. They're going in with that story. Oh boy. Daily Mail published one today. Horror as Alabama boy to mauled death after he opened gate. I think they actually put that in the headline. You put it in the headline. It's like in the thumbnail. Fatally mauled. They're putting a lot of emphasis on the fact that, the assumption that the boy opened the gate. I think this is a crazy, crazy case. And why nobody else is pointing this stuff out is beyond me. How do we know that a 2-year-old was even able to open that latch? Go Google YouTube 2-year-olds. Look at their mechanics. Look at their control over their body and limbs. Do you think they're coordinated like that? Especially maybe slightly under duress. Because you see, I just find it hard to believe that the dogs didn't bark at all. I find that hard to believe. If they attacked them, okay, do y'all know this owner of these dogs said his dogs have never barked? I'm not kidding. He said his dogs have never barked at anyone. He strikes me as a liar. In the story, his belief of what happened sounds crazy as well. I don't know how many of you have read this. I think it surfaced just a few hours ago. But they say Clark, who is the owner of the dogs, has been left bewildered. Can y'all see that? Let me highlight it here. Bewildered by the random attack, as he maintains his two dogs, a husky and a German shepherd, people, two of the more aggressive dogs. Let's be very clear about that. Two of the more aggressive dogs, German shepherds, are police force's favorite. He said they've never barked at anyone. Excuse me. He said they've never barked. Look at this. He said, my dogs ain't never go out or bark at nobody or nothing. There it is. Let me increase the size. There it is. He said, I couldn't believe it. My dogs have never hurt anyone in the past. By golly, I'm telling you, my dogs ain't never go out or bark at nobody or nothing. And don't get me wrong, I love Southern people. I love Southern accents. That's why I use it jokingly so often. I love Southern accents. Up in Ohio, I really didn't get too much of a Southern accent, but I heard him talking, and he's kind of country. It gets worse. His idea of what happened, and this is the owner again, it gets worse. He said that in the neighborhood, there's a bulldog, a stray bulldog that just wanders around the community. Oh, brace yourself. If you haven't heard this. This joker said there's a bulldog, a stray bulldog in the neighborhood, and the boy, the 2-year-old, might have walked up and into the gate with the bulldog. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? Okay, right here. Clark speculated that the attack may have been fueled by the presence of a local bulldog that he claims has been running loose in the area. What? There's a brown bulldog running around in the neighborhood, and it was running around in the yard, he said, adding that seeing the dog free around the neighborhood was not uncommon. When I got my dog put up, I saw her running out of the yard, and I don't know if she had anything to do with it. Look at this. He felt the toddler may have seen the dogs and followed them into his backyard. He's talking about the stray bulldogs, which was latched but not locked. I guess that's what he's talking about. He might have opened the gate and the other dog might have come in here with him. He's saying that the boy, I guess, made friends with the stray bulldog. This is his version of what happened. This is what it sounds like, how I interpret it. Made friends of some sort with the stray bulldog and walked up to the gate with the bulldog. And because he was with the bulldog, that's why the dogs were aggressive. See, he said it might have been fueled. He said it right here. The attack may have been fueled by the presence of a local bulldog. He's blaming his dog's own aggression on the presence of the bulldog. It's his way of saying, well, the dogs were not intentionally trying to kill the 2-year-old. It's a way to pawn it off to sort of say that the bulldog sparked the aggression and maybe it was redirected aggression. Isn't this amazing? Because you can tell it sounds like he knows what the lies are. He knows what redirected aggression is. And he just whipped up an imaginary scenario in reference to redirected aggression. Just lying just to lie, I guess. You already got off. They actually told him on the spot, we'll bring your dogs back in 10 days. People, I'm telling you, this is sick business. All right, fueled by the presence of a stray dog boy made friends with, walked up to the gate with the dog. Boy was in front. He lifted up the latch. Again, this sounds like a 2-year-old like I'm not familiar with. I Googled, I went to YouTube and looked. I'm just not convinced. I don't think 2-year-olds are that coordinated and under control like that. Should we really believe the 2-year-old lost all fear being alone? Like, really? Being alone used to scare me. And especially if you see a dog. A lot of times, I'm saying we've seen several videos. A lot of times, youngsters are scared even when there's an adult there. They're timid. Y'all notice when they go into the classrooms, a lot of times only 2 or 3 kids rubbing on the dog. But okay, they were familiar with each other. Maybe the 2-year-old had absolutely no fear. I also have to believe that he walked up to this gate and lifted the latch, even though we've seen dogs do that before. And I think he made himself sound bad by saying that his dogs have never barked at anybody. I mean, oops, sorry about that. We all know that's a lie. Why would you? He just exposed himself as a liar when he said that. And that's just straight up what he said. My dogs ain't never go out or bark at nobody or nothing. Okay, buddy. You see, had he not said this, you'd be more inclined to believe him. But since it seems like he could have possibly volunteered a lie, make me believe his story. I'm less likely to believe his story about what happened here. But that's kind of, my man got real creative, didn't he? He went home and thought about it. He probably got excited that they told him he'd get his dogs back in 10 days. Here it is right here. Dogs were confiscated by animal control. Told them they'll be returned in 10 days. Can't make this up. How many else can do that? All because the dogs don't know no better? All because, they're just being dogs and that's what dogs do? That don't make it acceptable. Just because it's a natural behavior to them. That's common sense. Wow. They get off scot-free because that's just in their nature to do. No. That's unacceptable. So we'll see. This is a pretty crazy case, if you ask me. And, it's hard to believe that we're the only part of the internet that've gone over how unbelievable this story is. It's a crazy story. Like, stop it. And when you see how easy it is for dogs themselves to lift the little latch up, stop it. Now, we know how these things get. When they see prey, a victim that they want to attack, I know a lot of people, I think they're easy or quick to believe that the sight of a 2 year old is not that stimulating to a dog. But remember, that guy held some type of seminar or class trying to train dogs' desire to attack toddlers out of them. And the youngster they used in that experiment was around 2. It looked like he looked around 2 years old. So, that's pretty intense if you ask me. It sounds like it's prevalent in dogs to want to attack on sight. As soon as they see something move, they want to attack. Forget about your training and all that nonsense. These things did what they do naturally, and that's why they should be gotten rid of. But they're about to get off with this little flimsy lie. You can see that coming. My man, he said his dogs ain't never barked. I don't think that is even possible. That's not even possible. And to have one dog that has never barked is impossible. But if you're saying 2 have never barked, you know he's lying. You know that's a lie. So you ask me, look, what they do in the court of law? Once you find out a testimony, what are they called? A witness is lying, you can strike everything they say off the record. Everything else they say, you can strike it off the record. Once you hurt your credibility, it's a wrap for you. Who believes this man that his husky and German shepherd have never barked? He said it. He said it. Never barked. Let's talk about that, dude. Lord, I hope somebody is challenging him on that. He can just get away saying that. Oh my goodness. Wow. Maybe that's my problem. Maybe I make too much sense. And what works is to just sound ridiculous and not make sense. Yeah, that seems like what the case is. There's some dark forces at play. Dog attacks 2 kids walking to school. What is this? 2? 1 attacked 2. Then bystander rushes to help. You can't make this up. Attacked a 7-year-old? What is this? This is madness. This is madness. Just upon hearing about 1 7-year-old under attack, it should be like, this is what I thought all my life. Do y'all know there was a time in my life where I didn't know that dogs attacked kids? Believe it or not. And I know there's a lot of people out there like that. I was under that dog spell. I told y'all several times, I was under the dog spell too. Now, I never liked dogs. I never really liked them. I had to pray to even tolerate them. But yeah, what is this? Oh, say it ain't so. Okay, all right. And I guess that was an accident too, right? And keep in mind, this story right here is one of those stories that the professionals are saying, hey, that was provoked. There was actually some ear pulling, tail pulling. Right, there was some teasing involved here. How do people get away with this? People, this is the Twilight Zone. This ain't reality. I hate to be the one to tell you. Uh-oh. What's going on here? My man trying to get sharp. Violent dog attack in Sussex County ended with a dead dog. Okay. All right. That's good news. Because, yeah, that's how it should end. That's how it should end. Because you know it was unprovoked, as always. When you attack people unprovoked, you should be dealt with. Just like y'all would do humans. There would be no objections from dog lovers if a human being get dealt with immediately, on the spot. If he just hauled off and pulled out a knife and started stabbing people. Stabbing your 2-year-old. Swift justice. Everybody knows that that's justice. What y'all do? Confiscate them, give them back to the owner in 10 days. What that sound like to y'all? That's a sacrificial cult. They're playing games. But that's the world we're living in. They have managed to manipulate laws to enable ritualistic sacrifices on a very consistent basis. Extremely consistent. They haven't broken stride in decades. That's just what's happening. Whether you choose to look at it like that or not, that's up to you. But that's what's happening. The enabling of a sacrificial cult where everybody calls it an accident. No way to foresee it happening. Yeah, welcome to the Twilight Zone. Lord. Stafford D. 3 animals ambushed a man. Did he pull out a gun? Recovery, wild, injuries, bad bite, ear damage. Told us he was in his front yard when a neighbor asked for help to corral the dogs. Attack down to heavy sedation. Okay, what happened? Oh, man. Oh, yeah, I haven't watched it. I usually don't pre-read them. Like, when I'm with the members. I don't pre-read them. But I'm going to read this one. Because it's not that long. 3 animals ambushed separate man on Tuesday afternoon in his front yard. We were told by his family he was bitten from head to toe. Tyree Cuffey is in serious condition in the hospital and faces a long recovery after the wild event put him in the ICU. Cuffey's injuries include a bad bite to the head, ear damage, and severe injuries to his lower legs. His wife, Courtney, told us he was in his front yard when a younger neighbor asked for help to corral the escaped mutts. Then those dogs attacked him. He is now under heavy sedation with a breathing. Oh, he in bad shape. And it's a grown man. A big man, it looked like. This ain't no pet. Doing big, burly men like this. And they're just playing games. Oh, it's kid's best friend. Sacrificial cult. Got the whole population hypnotized under a spell. That's what's happening. In any other scenario, people flip their lid, something intentionally stab and murder toddlers. What's wrong with y'all? Anything else do that? Be hearing about no infant getting offed. Twilight Zone. Anyway, under heavy sedation, he was mauled by what officials tell us are 3 mixed, 3 of them. Yeah, so I take that back. It was 3 of them. No man stands a chance. But some of these idiots got 3 dogs themselves. And more than that. Courtney Cuffey said around 4 on Tuesday, she got a frantic call from her daughter and through tears heard the dogs are attacking Ty. Neighbor Margaret West was was home at the time of the attack. And this is a quote from him. I heard the sirens when they came in. By the time I got out there, they had taken the gentleman, I guess by ambulance, and the one dog that they had shot was lying on the ground, most likely shaking and trembling. Delaware Department of Health and Social Services said multiple crews, including the Delaware State Police, responded to the call. We told a trooper on the scene was also bit. Lord, how many people would bite? Look at these out of control mutants. Everything I say about them, all the names I call them, it fits perfectly in the reports you hear about them. I'm right. Just accept it, nutters. We are right. Let me retract that. We are right. You're not just listening to one person. I need y'all to keep that in mind. That's a big reason why I promote the other channels. We're not enemies. We're not enemies. We just present the same message in a different way. Right? We are right. These are the worst. These are enemies. These are our worst enemies. Right there in front of your faces. And y'all treating your worst enemies like your best friends. That's how it is. Name a greater enemy to human beings as a whole. Nothing consistently attacks as many of us as dogs do. Nothing even comes close. In the United States alone, what else intentionally attacks people 14,000? Don't tell me no mosquito. Stop it. Give me a mammal. It's our greatest enemy. These people are out of their minds. Worthless mutt. And then they pamper them. See, you hear these types of stories right here. And then a few seconds later, you see one of these mutts in baby clothes, in a bassinet. Shot and killed one of the dogs. That's justice. Delaware Department responded. The other two dogs were in custody of the state. Neighbors tell us the dogs came from a home located right near Cuffey's. We knocked on the house's door, but did not get an answer. Dogs have been an issue before. Okay? So y'all notice how they like to say, just like that story we just went over, where the guy said the kid opened the latch. They'll say, oh, it's never attacked before in the past. But then you hear stories like this, where they have attacked in the past, where they have been an issue before. So what's the point in pointing it out when you don't do nothing anyways? Like this guy, he about to get his dogs back in 10 days. He ain't going to be able to say that they ain't never had or done nothing in the past, but he probably will say it anyway. We don't know if he's telling the truth now. And like I said, he most likely lying. It's ridiculous. And you know what's sad? We got to assume that they're lying so often because they lie so often. Ridiculous, man. Lord, snap out of it. That's what need to happen. Y'all just need to snap out of it. Y'all think listen, dog lovers, I see your comments. Y'all try to talk to me like I'm crazy. Y'all need to stop. Okay, just cut that out. I'm not even going to address that. Take that mutt, that raggedy, worthless, stinking mutt, to a shelter right now. Leave it there. Leave it there. Don't harm it. Okay? Don't tether it. Don't leave it outside nowhere. Get rid of it and evolve. It is as simple as that. They drunk the Kool-Aid. They drunk the Kool-Aid, people. Boy, dog, you know what else that I started to notice? A lot of these dog lovers, when they spend a lot of time around dogs, they start to behave and sound and act like dogs. They start grunting and they can't stop moving, looking around, left, right, up and down. Right? They start having these crazy outbursts of energy, and sometimes they're very annoying. They just can't. They're used to that dog always up in their face, so they start to adopt some of that behavior. It's stupid, and it's always begging and all up in your face, man. Y'all gotta snap out of it. Oh, it's a lot of people in here now. What are y'all doing up, man? It's 4:44 a.m. my time. Y'all see somebody's name, Buster Mutt in the house. That's a hilarious name, man. Shout out to WS90 in the building. What's going on? Moochie in the house. Oh, yeah. And Matthew Lyons in the building. Sub-Zero. Macho Mike. That's what's up. So, yeah. What else is going on in this wacky world? Y'all hope this woman get this lawsuit or win this lawsuit. $800,000. We need to send a message somehow. We can't just sit back and accept this. This is abuse at this point. Abuse of power, abuse a whole lot of stuff, man. Y'all mislabeling obvious cases of murder, of reckless endangerment. Just ignore the same laws you created. It is enough. Enough is enough. People are fed up. We're fed up. There's a huge awakening. People today becoming aware of more things than ever. I think people learning about the world itself, how it's truly operates more than ever. This is a real awakening. Y'all need to stop playing games. Spiritual awakening. The truth will do that. Now, yeah, this lady. Hopefully, she gets a bag.
A woman mauled and permanently disfigured in a dog attack is now suing Multnomah County, saying they allowed it to happen.
So in April of last year, Coin 6 reported that Pick's Patisserie chef Cheryl Walkerhauser was mauled by an off-leash pit bull. Well, now she is filing a complaint against the county and county animal services. Back in February of 2023, the same dog attacked another dog on a leash unprovoked. The complaint says at that point, animal services knew the dog was dangerous, but they still did not take custody of it. Walkerhauser.
Man, that's horrible. Where is this? This in Oregon? It's put graffiti all over the apartments. That looked ridiculous. I'm sorry, that looked ridiculous. Lord.
Did not take custody of it. Walkerhauser suing for $800,000, including $56,000 in medical bills. The county says no comment on pending litigation.
Yeah. Just give it the money. And give us our money too. Y'all owe us money having to deal with this our whole life. You know, telling how much healthier we'd be. Had we not come up in this nasty dog-infested society. Growing up all our lives, inhaling dog excrement and urine. Had to have some type of negative effect on our health. And who knows, it might be why we don't live to be 120. Right? Human cells live 120 years. They're designed to live 120 years on average. What's our average lifespan? What's cutting us off so short? Huh? Why don't we deal with that simple reality? I get tired of this spineless cowardness in people, man, where they don't want to talk about the most obvious things. What in the world is causing us to live about half the time we're supposed to live? Is it just like eating meat and dairy? Maybe. But there have been other vegans. I'm not the first raw vegan. I got the game from them. If they're not living to be 120, it don't seem like we got a crop of 120-year-old vegans out right now. So what's cutting us off so short? And how could it not be or have anything to do with these nasty mutts? Look, they've already almost wiped people off the face of it. Let's not play dumb. Let's not play dumb. They either no. They, at the very least, they help to spread it. Y'all talking about fleas? You talked about the Middle Ages, the Dark Ages. Dogs had something to do with that. They're nasty enough to carry the fleas to bring them to you from the rat. I don't want to hear nothing. They're nasty. How you gonna talk about the rat as if it's so nasty when the dog nasty enough to carry that same thing on its body and give it to you? That dog ain't no better than the rat. Like we all said. Been saying for years, they're like overgrown rats. They're like a combination of rat and pig. Yeah? Part chimpanzee. Goofy, uncomfortable looking mutts. And you know what, to be honest, there ain't many other things in the world that's uncomfortable to look at than a panting, slobbering, goofy looking mutt. There is nothing. Y'all have to be under a spell. Okay? Y'all have to be hypnotized to look at these things and say words like beautiful, handsome, etc. You gotta snap out of it. And, this dog culture is just one out of many things. It seems like people are just losing it. They're losing it like in every way. I just saw this show called Baddies for the first time. Baddies. Y'all heard of this show? It's, oh Lord. Tell me this is not happening. Okay, tell me this is not happening. This is the height of insanity. Like, who would run something like this anyways? Now, listen, y'all know I'm a caveman. I don't keep up with the times. I don't keep up with all these, and I definitely don't watch these goofy shows. The Empire and all these types. I don't watch none of that nonsense. It's just straight up foolishness to me. But this reality show, here it is right here. This needs to be banned. This needs to be banned, right? This is the most ratchet. It's not even ratchet. It's not even ratchet. You can tell they're doing that Scarlet. They're promoting that Scarlet personality, where you're just an out and out, over the top, you know what. And this is a special kind of ignorance and filth. And when did this come out? 2021, I think. You see how they're doing? Look, man, is this just the extension of the Jerry Springer era? That's another one. My mother used to watch that. That Jerry Springer, Ricky Lake. Who's that other one? Who was that other joker? It was a few of them, where they just go onto the show to have these sloppy fist fights. They still do that on some of these. They do that on a lot of these shows. I don't understand how people get into that kind of stuff. Or people just acting ignorant and yelling nonsensical babble and fighting because they don't understand each other's babble. Well, I'm in Baltimore. Lord, don't ever watch none. People, don't do your brains like that. You feel the urge to watch craziness like that? Come back over here. I'll go live just for you. Tell me you're under duress. We can talk about it. I'm worried about people. I'm worried about us, man. I don't know if I'm alone. I think I'm alone. Everybody else seem like, not everybody. Some people see it. We see it, of course. But man, it's just crazy. I am concerned. Because if everybody around me jacked up, this is going to get to me eventually. Yeah, that's it. Man, if y'all have not seen that show, don't do it. Don't do it. Just think of the worst, most ratchet, ghetto fabulous, ratchet nonsense. You think of the Jerry Springer type stuff cranked up a few notches. Man, I literally used to try to watch that stuff to try to have something in common with my mother because she watched it so much. And I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't do it. I had to get up and leave the room. Yeah, that's one of the problems we got. We get off on seeing each other in conflict and fist fighting. We lost our minds, man. That's the form of the... Listen, I can understand controlled violence, like a combat sport, but as long as it's got limitations, I think MMA is too violent because of the way you can continue to strike them once they're clearly down on the ground and unconscious. And even though they've legalized it, it's looked down upon by a lot of people. So they could do something with that. But, fighting is actually a natural thing. There's nothing you can do about it. Even if, we had a pretty upright society, you still have people getting into fights. And, there's always going to be crazy people who are a little off the grid. Poor people. You might try to get robbed. Somebody might try to rob you or something. You might need to be able to use your hands. But, man, y'all take care of yourselves. Yeah. Please take care of yourselves. Do not drink the Kool-Aid. Okay? And stay ready for these months. And don't forget your phone, please. Because I'm just itching for new content. Right. Oh my God. Sub-Zero said the best way to not get attacked by stray dogs is to avoid walking, cycling, and motorbikes. Think about and people, they just accept that. India is the worst. It saddens me watching video over there in India, how adapted they are to those raggedy mutants in their society like that, wreaking havoc left and right. And to see people over there who still love these things, tossing them food, it's a loss. It's a lost cause. They'll never snap out of it. It's crazy to see how people can go into a downward spiral like that. And they can become, not as evolved. Pretty sad. Hygiene, somebody said this and I agree with it. And this might be a saying, I don't know. They said hygiene is the first step to evolution. It's like mandatory as a part of evolution to be an evolved person. Anybody, if you ask me, concerned about cleanliness, you're going to stay far away from dogs. And you definitely not going to let them in your house. Just a few decades ago, we looked down on that. You see what I'm saying? So we becoming crazy real fast. What was that? 20,000? Like 40 years ago. As little as 40 years ago. what was it? 1980, right? Compare 1980 compare nuttery of today to 1980. How can you possibly regress that fast? How can culture, period, change that drastically in such a short period of time? Something's going on. At least that's what I think. All right, let me get my late night snack. Let me get up off of here. I enjoyed chopping it up with the Crusader family. And I will be back in touch very, very soon. Got a little vacation time coming up. And I want to get on here and deal with some nuttery. And I hope you'll be able to join me as we continue with this crusade.